Hi there, welcome to this practice. We're going to do a full length practice toward shoulder stand. So, for this, you're going to need a strap, might be helpful, but you don't have to use a strap. Two heavy blankets, and that's it. We will also use a wall. So, please set up your mat nearby a wall with the props too, and we will get started. Straight in. Come and lay down on your back. Take a moment to find a position that's comfortable for you in laying down on your back with your knees bent and your feet placed onto the floor. You might like to bring the hands either beside your body, or you could bring one hand to the belly and one hand to the chest. And just take a moment to arrive into the space of the room. Notice if there are any sounds in the room. And the space outside of the room, if there are any sounds or silence. And then your awareness back into the room and onto your yoga mat. Notice the sounds or silence that you can hear in your body as a way of anchoring your awareness now within yourself. Notice the sensations otherwise in the body. That might be the breath moving on its own, the heart beating, belly with gurgles, any other sounds. Letting go now of your awareness of sound, and yet remain within. And follow your awareness now with the breath. Notice it coming in and out, its depth and pace. And you observe now the body breathing. You don't have to do anything at all. You can remain with this observation of the body breathing, or return to sound if you would like to. Or you might like to work with your breath. If you would like to, you could begin to equalize the in and out breath. That would be the same duration, and so perhaps you would count the breath, though you don't have to, if you'd like to now. Breathing in for a count of 3 or 4. And breathe out for a count likewise of 3 or 4. You can stay with that count if you like. Change it or let it go. Or an option now to apply a very gentle toning in the base of the throat. A little bit like a restriction in the throat. So as you do and continue to breathe, you might hear the breath like a sound of a whisper. Continue this exploration for another few rounds. This is called Ujjayi breath, the very gentle restriction in the throat, and the sound of the breath, almost like the ocean. One more round of this breath practice. When you're ready to, just let it go. And the control or the shaping of the breath. Now as you return to the breath relaxed, with ease, you might notice any effect of the practice. Sometimes that gentle sound of the breath can help to anchor your otherwise busy mind, and that can be calming. And yet with that extra stimulation from the vibration in the throat, you might even feel a little uplifting. Maybe your experience is different, and that's okay. So if you're ready for some movement now, I invite you to just become aware of your feet, your knees, legs. With the feet on the floor and the knees bent, placing the feet at hip distance apart, and then likewise the knees. You can keep the hands on the body if you like, or down onto the floor with the palms facing down. There's no right or wrong there. Or if you like, you could begin to bring the hands into the lower abdomen. That might be a region now that could offer your awareness into the deep abdominal muscles that we're going to work with now in this little practice. So you might be able to feel the hip bones and that soft region below the belly button. As you inhale, let the belly be full and soft. And as you exhale, begin to lift your pelvic floor muscles up. Then relax it on the inhale. And then with each exhale now, lifting the pelvic floor muscles, just very gently lifting upward with every exhale. Continue at your pace. And if you're unsure of the pelvic floor muscles, you might like to consider if you were needing to go to the toilet, you're in a queue and you're unable to go just yet, and you had to hold the wee back. So what muscles would you use to hold back from not going to the toilet while you're in the queue? Every exhale, lift your pelvic floor muscles, which are at the base of the pelvis. I'm going to add some movement with that. And just when you're ready, if you want to with me now, inhale and relax the belly. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor. This time as you inhale, slide the right heel forward as you extend the right leg long. Exhale, lift your pelvic floor while drawing the right heel back toward you again. And then continue the inhale to reach the right heel forward, sliding on the floor. And your exhale to draw that heel back up with your awareness as you continue in the lower abdomen and the hips that remain still. The lower abdomen drawing in and maybe even up together with the pelvic floor. And with each inhale, relax. And exhale, sliding that right heel forward. This is a great practice to train your pelvic floor muscles together with that exhale that we'll use throughout the practice today. And it might be useful to build that strengthened foundation, the base of your pelvis and the deep abdominal muscles. And if you're okay with this, stay with this. Otherwise, it might be that you work on the inhale to lift the right heel so that the shin is parallel. Then as you exhale, the pelvic floor lifts as you draw the heel back down nice and slow. So continue with 2 or 3 more rounds like that. The inhale, either sliding heel forward or lift heel up into the air. And the exhale to draw the heel back down. Last round. Really stable. Back of the pelvis stays remaining, pushing down. And the next round, if you have the foot lifted into the air, keep it up into the air Otherwise, drawing either way, the right foot up and knee in toward the chest. And take a hold of the shin if that feels okay for you, with the clasped hands on top of the shin, or maybe underneath the thigh if you need to for a sore knee, or if you're unable to reach. And just pause here for a moment with this flexion now in the hip, knee. And maybe a sway of the leg from side to side. Just take care there, maybe moving the knee slightly away from the chest if you need to. Swaying now that knee from side to side so that you can invite some movement into the ball and socket joint of the hip. That might be with some circles now of the knee, and you could use the hands to support the circles, or you can release the hands away so that you're using the strength to build stability around the hips, one direction, and then when you're ready, go in the other direction. And then coming back to the center. Now, option for you to either use a strap, or you don't have to if you don't have a strap. So with your strap, place the strap either on the ball of the foot as you lengthen the right leg, sole of the foot up to the sky. And if you haven't got a strap, don't worry about that. Clasping the hands behind the right thigh and the heel down toward your buttocks. So even if you've got the strap or not, we're going to work with that either way. So on that inhale, the heel is down. And as you exhale, reach the heel back up toward the sky. And then keep going. Inhale, push the lower back down. As you exhale, reach the heel up. We're looking here for stability around the hip. Your inhale to bend to the knee, heel to come down, and the exhale, use the strap as if it were resistance. Push the lower back, the sacrum down as you reach the heel up. And just keep going like this, with awareness of the ball and socket joint, strength and stability around the hip. Pushing the back of the pelvis down as you reach the heel up toward the sky. Maintain the length in the leg this time as you continue to breathe and stretch through the back of the leg. So just when you're ready, take the strap now into the ball of, into the right hand. And you can place the left hand back into the lower abdomen. As you slowly move that right leg slightly or even up to halfway out toward the right side, but just as far as that left hip doesn't lift up off the floor. Bend into that right knee, draw the heel down. So the knee's out to the side, you've got an external rotation of the hip. Keep breathing. But the next time you exhale, reach the heel out toward the side. Lengthening the leg. Inhale to bend into the knee. The leg doesn't have to be completely straight. As you exhale, push the heel out and really the back of the pelvis down. And keep going. Stability again with the inhale to bend. Nice and slow, the resistance with the strap, reaching out to the side. Keep going at your own pace. So if you didn't have the strap, your hands would be still clasped behind the thigh, or maybe you're holding on to the pants. With every inhale bending and every exhale reaching through the heel out to the side. Last round, and when you reach that out to the side, maintain the reach, pushing the back of the pelvis down, navel in, breath flowing, and then bring the leg back up to the center. And just pause there for a moment. And then bend into the knee and place the foot down to the floor. And just rest. And just feel if there are any changes there in that right hip compared to the left hip. And we'll work with the other side. When you're ready, inhale to fill the belly. And exhale, lift your pelvic floor muscles. Inhale to relax that. Exhale to lift. Let's add the movement now on the left side. Inhale, reach that left heel forward, sliding along the floor out in front. Exhale, nice and slow. Bring the left heel in Keep the back of the sacrum down and then keep going. Inhale to draw forward. We're looking for that stability into the hip. And your exhale each time to work with your pelvic floor first, then the movement. Inhale, extends. Exhale with the bend and the deep abdominal engagement. You can stay with the heel drawing down and forward, or if you want to work with something else, the inhale to lift the heel, shin parallel to the floor, and the exhale with pelvic floor, nice and slowly bring the foot back down to the floor and with control. Keep going. That's the inhale to lift or lengthen, and the exhale to slowly bend and heel down. Just maintaining the shin parallel to the floor. Not tempted to lift the leg higher, just so we can keep the pelvis neutral and work and isolate those muscles in the deep abdominal region, which you should feel underneath the hands, pushing down, and the pelvic floor lifting up. Last round as you lift the foot up into the air, holding for a moment, and then draw that knee in toward the chest, clasping hands onto the shins, and just pause, just to allow, feel and be in your body. Flexion on the, maybe there's a little squeeze on the front of the hip. Extension at the back. And you can stay here if you want to, or begin to sway that now, knee out from side to side. So we're just offering a little stretch and some movement into the ball and socket joint, using the hands to support the movement. And then go with the circles if that feels okay for you. Working now with the circular motion of your choice, circular direction of your choice. With or without the hands to support. And then go in the other direction. Coming back to the center when you're ready. If you're going to be using the strap, feel free to just grab the strap, place it onto the ball of the foot. I'm going to work with the hands clasped behind the thigh this time, so you remember what to do. And it's very similar. We'll work together. When you're ready, inhale, reach the heel up toward the sky, toes drawing back. Exhale, bend. I got the inhales wrong, didn't I? Inhale to reach the heel up, and then your exhale. Oh my God, I got it wrong again. So when you're ready, exhale, reach the heel up, push the sacrum down, inhale to bend into that left knee. Heel comes down and go again. So you just go at your pace now, the exhale to reach the heel up and the inhale to bend. The reason I like to work with the exhale and reach in this example is that we can use the release of air to allow a little more space for the abdomen to push down, pelvic floor to lift up, and that's all supporting the hip flexion and reach of the heel. And if you're using the strap, then you're working with resistance, and so that extra support in the abdomen's really helpful. And reaching the heel up one more time, and maintain the length of the leg with the toes drawing back toward your face, and continue to breathe into the stretch you will be experiencing into that left hamstring. Toes are coming back toward your face. Are you able to smile here? Or do you need to take the foot away from your face a little? Good job. All right. So again, if you're holding the strap, using the left hand only onto the strap and the right hand into the lower abdomen. And then take the leg out toward the left side. If you're using the clasped hands, just both of that moving out together. Inhale to bend into the knee. Exhale to reach through the heel. So keep going now. The back of the pelvis remains grounded and firm. And we're seeking here very little movement other than the leg. So keep the femur, the thigh bone, hugging in toward the hip. So we have stable, strong hips as a foundation to work from. Keep going. Exhale to reach. Last round, and continue to reach. Toes are drawing back toward your face. Dorsiflexion in the foot. Back of the pelvis pushing down. Navel drawing in. Breath smooth and calm. There might be some intensity there. That's completely natural. When you're ready, bring the leg back up. Just pause for a moment. Unclasp the hands or release the strap and just bring the foot down and rest. Just take a moment here. Noticing the heat, warmth and tingling into the sacrum and the hips and the legs, the abdomen and the pelvic floor. So just a little twist before we come up with the knees now in toward the chest. You can bring the arms out to the sides if you like. And then just take a gentle rock from side to side. And it doesn't have to be the knees come too far here. You just take it easy. Or it might be that the knees go up to maybe even halfway toward the floor. Everything optional. Your practice. And you're unique. You might turn the head to the other side and continue to move knees and the neck. Last round. Just when you feel even, coming back to the center. And then if you like, you can rock and roll on your spine, or I'm going to take a roll over to the side. Feel free to find your own way to come up onto your hands and knees. So finding your way now onto your hands and knees. And bringing the knees placed underneath the hips and the wrists underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. So we're going to call this tabletop position. And push the hands down. As you breathe out, bring your bottom back toward your heels. Just rest your elbows on the floor, head hovering, and then push through the feet as you breathe in to come forward. And just notice here your chin tucking in toward the chest. Exhale, lift your pelvic floor, take your bottom back toward the heels. As you inhale, relax the pelvic floor, chin toward the chest right until the last moment, and then lift the chin away from the chest. Your exhale, tuck the chin, lift your pelvic floor, and take your bottom back toward the heels. And just a couple more rounds like this. Push through the feet as you inhale, relax pelvic floor, chin in right until the last moment, and then lift. So you're looking maybe up or forward. Chin in and then pelvic floor as you exhale, bottom back. And two more, just at your own pace. We're working here with the bandhas. Pelvic floor is Mula Bandha. And the throat, chin and chest is Jalandhara Bandha. You don't need to worry about that, but these are energy locks that support the body. Next time you bring the bottom back toward the heels, maybe the big toes to touch, you could separate the knees a little bit more and just rest perhaps. Your head down either onto the floor, or you could stack the fists and rest the head onto your stack of fists. If you feel that you need to move in this position, if you're feeling a little agitated, a little rock from side to side might be helpful, or if you're okay too, you could remain still. I'd like to give you an option to work with. Brahmari, which is bumblebee, and this is a humming sound on exhale. We'll encourage a long exhale and a vibration in the throat. If you want to work with me for 3 rounds, breathing in now, and then start on exhale. Just noticing how that feels for you in your mouth, chest, throat, jaw, ears, head, eyes, brain. And then bring your hands again out in front. And come up onto your hands and knees. Maybe you walk the hands back and find your way into that tabletop position again. So a reminder, knees and the hips, wrists and the shoulders aligned. And just looking at the hands in this tabletop position, hands just beyond your shoulder distance. So in your tabletop position, we're going to work from here into plank position. Step the hands about a hand span further out in front, and then lean yourself forward, but bring your knees in toward each other. So as you lean yourself forward, you will have wrist, elbow and shoulder aligned. However, your knees and hips will no longer be as you have leant forward. So in your plank position, you could just relax the chest down toward the floor and then push through the hands and lift the chest away from the floor. So you get that dome in the upper back. Exhale and release the chest down toward the floor, keeping the elbows straight. And then as you inhale, push through the hands, lift the chest. This time, as you exhale, bring your bottom back toward your heels. They might not go all the way. And then lean yourself forward and push through the hands, chest away from the floor. Exhale, keep the elbows straight as you release the chest down. Go again. Inhale, notice the lift in the shoulder girdle. Exhale, bottom back toward the heels. Okay, we'll keep adding to this. Keep the lift as you inhale and draw forward. And then exhale, bend into the elbows, come halfway or just a little bit, and then push through the hands and lift yourself back up, push away from the floor, and then bottom back toward the heels. So let's just keep going like that, if that's okay for you. Inhale, coming forward, keep that dome in the upper back, and then as you exhale, coming halfway, inhale, lifting all the way away from the floor, and your exhale, bottom back. One more round with awareness of that shoulder girdle so that you're pushing the floor away as you come forward. Exhale halfway down, and then again push the floor away and lift in the dome and the upper back. Bottom back toward the heels. So we will go half a round now. So to just come forward and come all the way down onto your belly and just rest for a moment with one cheek onto the floor, arms beside your body. And just notice maybe there's some warmth you've created in the shoulders, maybe in the hands. They could have a little wiggle. Just rest. If you want to rest, please feel free to remain here. Otherwise, let's say it's your left cheek on the floor, and bring the back of the hands into the lower back, or just resting onto the back of the pelvis. With your left hand on top, as you breathe in, push the tops of the feet down, raise the chest, and sweep that left arm out to the side and forward, thumb pointing up. Exhale, bring that hand back again and turn the right cheek this time to the floor. And then go again. Inhale, lift the chest, sweep the right arm out in front, the thumb pointing up. And as you exhale, drawing now the chest down, left cheek to the floor, right hand behind you. Keep going. This time as you inhale, sweep that left arm out to the side and forward and raise the opposite leg, pointing the toes. Exhale, come on down again. So the right cheek and the left hand behind. Inhale to raise the right hand out to the side, lift the chest and the left foot. And as you exhale, come on back down. Let's just go 2 more each side. So each time you inhale, sweeping the arm and lifting the alternate leg. Exhale, coming down. Just relax when you have found your way into those 2 extra rounds. There might be a sway of the hips And just notice with that shape and little sequence, you might even have a little fluttering or warmth in the heart. You could feel that beating down into the floor. And then bring your forehead to the floor, hands underneath the shoulders. Turn the toes under here, and as you breathe in, lift up onto your hands and knees. And as you breathe out, you can take your bottom back toward the heels or lift your bottom up into the air. So if you needed to, bottom to the heels for sore wrists or shoulders, and otherwise bottom up into the air into down dog shape. You could be moving here if you want to, pedaling your heels up and down, with awareness of your hands, just beyond that shoulder distance, fingers spread wide, pushing the hands down and forward while you're lifting your bottom up and back. Heels toward the floor, you can relax your neck, a little yes, no nod perhaps, and reaching the crown of the head toward the floor in between the hands. Chin in and down. So you get that length in the whole spine with the tailbone reaching up, navel in. So just when you're ready, begin to walk toward the top of the mat, coming forward. So you stay where you are. I'll change and lift up to halfway, breathing into halfway, and then forward fold as you breathe out. And two more like that. A breath in to lift up to halfway. Your hands might come up the shins. And your exhale, knees might be bent in a forward fold. Last round, inhale to lift. Option for you to sigh as you breathe out. And forward fold. Just relax your neck. You might have the hands beside the feet or take a hold of the opposite elbow and a little sway if that feels okay for you, or just stay still if otherwise. And then come back to the center, hands beside your feet. And we'll shift the weight now toward the heels, bend into the knees, and begin to roll your spine up. Keep the back straight if you feel it's a bit sore today, or in that rolling, notice each vertebrae stacking. Reach out to the sides, up overhead, inhale, and then down through the center as you breathe out, and forward fold. Hands to the floor and lift up to halfway, breathing in. And as you breathe out, hands to the floor and take the right foot back, right knee down to the floor, and draw the chest forward with that left knee bent. And we've got the ankle and knee aligned on your fingertips. Draw the chest forward as you breathe in. Then as you breathe out, pick up the left foot. Take the knee onto the floor beside the right and sit your bottom to the heels. You can stay here if you want to rest. Otherwise, inhale, leaning forward. Bring yourself down to the floor, lifting legs and the chest up off the floor. Inhale, and your exhale. Turn toes, come down, and then lift yourself onto hands and knees and your downward dog shape. Reminder, you could have bottom to the heels if you wanted a more gentle practice today. Otherwise, pushing hands down and forward. Chin in, sit bones up, heels down. One more breath here, and then just begin when you're ready to walk to the top of the mat. Come forward. Halfway lift, inhale, side out as you breathe out. Weight through the heels, reach out and up, inhale up overhead. Then as you exhale, hands through the center and your forward fold. Lift up to halfway, breathing in. And your breath out to forward fold, and then take the left foot back and the left knee down to the floor. Right knee and ankle aligned in your lunge. Chest forward. So pause here to feel the stretch on that front left hip flexor, front of thigh, and the back of the right thigh in the hamstring. Chin in, drawing forward. And then when you exhale, right knee to join the left, sit your bottom down, stay here for the rest, or as you breathe in, bring your belly to the floor. This time, tops of the feet push down as you raise the chest. Exhale to release, turn the toes under, lift hands and knees, and then into your downward facing dog for the last time in this practice. So you might like to continue pedaling or remaining still, or inhale, lift up to the tippy toes, exhale, open mouth and heels toward the floor. 2 more, inhale, lift up tippy toes, this time with a sigh as you exhale, heels down. Next time as you inhale, lift, open the mouth, tongue down toward the chin with a sigh. And then bring the knees down to the floor. Rest your bottom to the heels. Head down onto the floor or onto the stacked fists and just stay here for a moment and pause. And just allow the moment to be. The extra warmth in your body, tingling. The breath will settle. Observe the breath settling. And the effect of the breath on the body and the mind together. So when you're ready, begin to lift yourself up and come up onto your bottom. So we're going to work with a preparation, another preparation for your shoulder stand. Into the middle of your mat and feet out in front. Place the hands on the floor behind you and lean into the hands. And what you'll find as you do so, you will again have the joints stacked. So just keeping the hands there and then about shoulder distance and lean from one side to the other. So just swaying your weight from the left to the right. And then begin to turn the fingers out to the sides. And then the fingers pointing back behind you as you continue to sway from side to side. And now your awareness in the stretch in the front of the wrists. The hands continue to move again back to the side and then pointing forward again. So staying here now with the hands behind, shoulder distance, leaning toward the hands, proud in the chest now as you inhale, lifting the chest. And as you breathe out, just relax the chest down. So you're going to keep the elbows straight here, sinking chest down. And then as you breathe in, lifting chest up, pushing hands down. And every time you exhale now, you're going to feel this protraction and retraction in the shoulder girdle of shoulder blades. So awareness of the shoulder girdle, that is the back of the shoulder, and supports here your lift as you inhale and release as you exhale. So we're looking for mobility, this flexibility within the shoulder joint, but we're also looking to build the strength with the slow movement along the length of the muscles within the girdle. So next time you lift the chest up, maybe you stay with that, or perhaps you could lift likewise the hips, and on your exhale coming down, and your inhale lifting up. Just keep the hands pushing, chin stays in toward the chest. Maybe there's one more round here for you, and that might be with an ongoing lift, either of both the hips and chest or just the chest, keeping the chin in and then come on down. And then come forward so that with your feet out wide, you can just take a moment now to hold the opposite wrist. Lift maybe the chest as you inhale, and then maybe there's a little lean into the thighs as you exhale. Separate the legs as much as you need to create space for your body, just to lean forward. There might be a rounding in the back of the neck, but if you had a sore back, then I would advise to skip that and just come back upright. All right, so when you're ready, lifting your gaze, your chest, your body upright. And we're going to work toward our shoulder stand now. So just excuse me a moment. So hopefully you're feeling strong in the base, warm, and with a little preparation in the shoulders. We're going to now use the 2 blankets. So bring your 2 blankets near to the wall. We'll set up the blankets first, and then I'll show you where they will go. So first of all, 2 blankets, if you've got them, stacked upon each other and facing toward the middle of the room so that you get that neat crease here, and your head is going onto the mat while your shoulders and the back of the chest will rest on the blankets. So they might even think of this as like a fairy step. So the bottom blanket's just that little bit further out toward the middle of the room than the top blanket. And so you can see there, that's a good inch off the floor, and that's going to support your neck. So shoulder stand, blankets away from the wall, a big high five. So get your hand and place it onto the wall and bring the little finger onto the wall, the thumb away, and that will give you roughly the distance required, as all of our distance away from the wall would be different depending on the size of your body. So give that a go as an option to find the right position of the blankets. And I will ask that you just watch this demonstration if it's the first time you've done this. The other thing we're going to use is a strap. And you can set up your blankets and set up the strap, and then come and sit and watch me. And I will guide you after the demonstration. So the strap needs to be shoulder distance. I have a tear in my bicep, and so I don't take it too far for me. But ideally, you want to have this at shoulder distance, and I will show you how. The other way you can measure shoulder distance is the tip of the thumb on one end of the strap and the loop onto the elbow. And so that there, tip to the elbow, should be the shoulder width, I hope. So you're going to need that loop in your strap to support your shoulders, so that indeed this is a shoulder stand and not a neck stand. So caution for shoulder stand, you would avoid this if you had glaucoma, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, pregnancy, even menstruation, because it's a intense inversion. It's very, very beneficial for stretching the back of the neck. It can activate the energy around the thyroid and the Vishuddhi chakra. And with it being an inversion, is also very good for fatigue and helping create a sense of vitality. So when you set yourself up, I'm going to guide you with more instructions, but when you set yourself up, bottom as close to the wall as possible. And if you're able to see, there is a distance of at least an inch or so from the top of my shoulders to that first blanket. And that's because we're going to roll up in a moment and we need that extra space. However, the back of my head is on the floor and the blankets are just that tiny bit close for me. So I need to roll out to readjust. So with your feet up the wall, your heels can stay exactly where they are. And once you're in this shape, you will not move your head. So just be really clear on looking up either to the ceiling or close your eyes. And if you need to look at the video, please pop out of the shape and do so. When you're ready, you'll bend into the knees and place the feet to the wall and straight away bring the hands into the lower back and squeeze the elbows in toward each other. Now this is where we're going to use the strap
to bring the elbows even closer in toward each other. So grab your strap while your bottom is lifted and bring that now underneath the body and into the upper arms, so that now as you bring the hands back into the lower back, chin stays drawing toward the chest, and you can rest now into that resistance that you're probably experiencing when you come into this shape with the strap in the upper arm. So that's my demonstration of the shape, and I'll guide you again. So if you're wanting to, and you've watched the demonstration, you're ready to go with your blankets and the strap, come and squat next to the edge of your mat and bring the hip that's close to the wall, touching the wall. Then sit on your bottom, pivot onto your back, lift the feet off the floor, and do yourself that little check. You've got some space from the top of the shoulders to the edge of the blankets. The strap is ready to go. It's a little awkward, isn't it, to bring it underneath the body? So, making sure that you're not moving your head. You might even grab the strap, place it under one arm, so in the upper arm. When you're ready, you can lift the bottom. Maybe you don't come up so high, and you bring the strap over to the other. So you've got that loop now, and the hands into the lower back, fingers pointing toward the buttocks. If you have rolled off your blankets, you need to come back down. And the idea with the strap is to encourage the elbows to draw in and pressing elbows and the upper arms down so that you're getting the support here and you're not leaning into the neck. You can keep the knees separated if it feels okay for you. If you're feeling it would be useful, it could even be use of a block to squeeze in between the thighs. So that would be something that you would explore, possibly by coming down and giving that a go with curiosity, as that might offer you a little bit more stability in that base region, which is useful here in the lift of the hips, drawing in toward that middle of the room. You can stay in this shape for 5 or so minutes. You can stay longer. And I am going to give you some time now to either stay in this shape, or if you would like to, you could come down and you could bring a bolster underneath your sacrum. You could rest with the bottom upon that bolster, and also a pillow if that's needed and you don't have that nearby and you want to come out of the shape, you could do, or please feel free to stay in your shoulder stand. Again, I'm going to give you time to stay in that shape with the option of coming down with the bolster underneath the buttocks and a head on the pillow if you're not wanting to work with the shoulder stand. So just another minute in whichever variation you've chosen. Once you've practiced shoulder stand a few times, I caution you again as I continue to talk, either stay in your shoulder stand, close your eyes and ignore me, or if and when you are ready, you could add to your shoulder stand with plow position, that is something that you could work with. You could work with one foot coming off the wall, pointing toes up toward the sky. Or it might be, once you've had shoulder stand in your practice, you could bring both feet off the wall. And or you could explore plough pose, which will involve, when you're ready, with both feet off the wall, hinging at the hips and the feet overhead. So that is not something you do if you're very new to this as a practice. Halasana is plough pose. Elbows still need to be walking in. If you're watching my demonstration, my elbows are not walking in. I've lost the strap and the blanket is quite slippery, so they're slipping out. So not a great demonstration. If you are still in your shoulder stand and you are ready to come out of it, please find your feet back off the wall if you have been playing around. Bottom down, and a reminder, the bottom on the floor without anything underneath is not recommended. So please, when you're ready, with knees bent, roll out toward one side, bring the top hand to the floor so that you can push down and lift yourself up. I'm going to give you now a counter pose. So just when you're ready, come and lay down on your mat again with your feet on the floor, knees bent, and just rest here for a moment. So that's a pretty big shape. You might be still with sensation in the throat and the neck. There might have been some warmth in the abdomen to enable your lift. And it may even resulted in you feeling a little unsettled, so just allowing yourself to just settle now back on the floor. Feet grounding down, and the breath is your anchor now with its rhythm coming in and out. So as we created length in the back of the neck and we shortened the front of the neck with that deep contraction in the region of the thyroid, we're going to do the opposite of that now with the caution for neck injury. You might just stay where you are if you have a neck injury. Otherwise, lift your bottom up, bring your hands underneath the bottom, and create palms facing down, creating a shape almost like the W with the thumbs touching and the fingers just spreading out and palms down. Bring your bottom to rest either on the hands or the wrists or wherever it is, the arms straight and tucked in underneath the body. Then extend into the legs with the toes pointing up. So reminder, this might be where you stay, or push through the elbows, lift into the chest, slide onto the top of the head, and maybe look behind you or eyes closed as you open and close the mouth. Keep pushing through the elbows, lifting into the chest. If you keep the head on the floor, this is much better than the variation with the head off the floor, especially if you're new to the practice, and supporting this heavy head. When you're ready, sliding the back of the head down, the chest down, bend knees, feet to the floor, and wriggle the arms out for a moment and just pause to feel and be. Noticing that lift of the chest, the expansion you might feel across the front of the chest and the shoulders. And then I'm going to invite you to come to seat. You can rock and roll if you want to, or roll over to the side and come to a seat. And now I'm going to suggest that you can use your mat, fold it up at the back, or you can use a blanket to come and sit on. So with your feet out in front, your strap nearby, I'm just straightening myself up. Bend into your right knee and place the right foot onto the floor while your left leg extends out long. I'm mirroring you. Then just allow that right knee to move out to the side. And if you have a sore knee, you might bring a cushion
a block or a blanket just to rest the knee on. So your right knee out to the side, the sole of the foot just touches gently into the inner thigh. And then take your strap onto the ball of the left foot. As you extend that left leg out in front, take a hold of the strap in both hands. And let's work with some stability in our base. So thinking about now your sit bones, they are the base of your pelvis, pushing down into the floor. And let's keep them where they are. Yet hug that right thigh bone back into the hip. So the hip stays steady, but get a sense of that it's your left thigh bone hugging back and into that socket joint. So keeping all of that stable in the base, holding on to the strap with the arms long. And inhale, pull back here and lift the chest up. Inhale, chin in. Then as you exhale, lean forward, sit bones pushing down, thigh bone hugging in toward the pelvis. And then you can walk the hands. So maybe you've just come down a little way here. Let's go again. It's almost like a half lift. Inhale to pull back a little, chest raises, lift out of the waist, chin tucking in. As you exhale, lift your pelvic floor, navel in toward your spine. And this is Janu Sirsasana. We can stay here if you're wanting a gentle practice. You can just let the strap go. Or pull back now. Keep the chin drawing in and the pelvic floor lifting up. Navel drawing in toward the spine. So we're not looking for a deep forward fold in this particular variation. As you pull back, lift pelvic floor, navel in and chin toward the spine. We have each of the 3 primary bandhas, which encourage the energy within the torso and a freedom that we're seeking here, lifting upward. Last round of breath here with that extra bit of intensity. Then release and relax into the forward fold. You can let the strap go. You can just have the hands onto the shin or the foot, or maybe it's on the thigh, and it doesn't matter. You can just close your eyes now without any of that bandha or energy work. And maybe if you had a sore back, you could keep the chest lifted as you relax, or it could be that you let the chest draw down as the head, likewise heavy, creates a rounding in the back of the neck and into the upper back. So again, another caution, if that doesn't feel right for you, that could be because the fascia, the connective tissue, is being tugged on, and that's creating discomfort because it can be quite tight. So that referred sensation, you might even notice, is relieved with the lift of the head and the chest, just if you need it. We'll come again up. When you're ready, you could use the strap. This is a good way to come out with alignment. So holding on to the strap just down as low as feels okay for you, and then pull back again and lift the chest up so that you get length in the spine while lifting up so that you can re-stabilize. Now, scooping that right knee up and place that right foot over toward now the other side. You can keep the left leg long and maybe in the center line now. And if you need a gentle twist, you can take the left hand behind you and just hang out here with the twist open for the belly. But if you'd like a more deeper twist, we'll go the other side. So the gentle twist could be good for menstruation, or if for any reason you had a sore back and you wanted to do that. Otherwise, the right hand behind you onto the floor. Raise, reach the left hand up as you breathe in. Then as you breathe out, turn at the waist and place the elbow to the outer edge of that bent knee. As you press down the right foot to the floor, you could look toward the back of the room or to the side of the room with a stop sign in your hand or index finger and thumb to touch. And breathe as if you could breathe to the belly. Notice that sensation of the breath in the belly. turn the head forward when you're ready. Inhale, head forward. Exhale, turn the head back again. Then as you inhale, bring both the head and the chest forward and just pause for a moment just to allow. Notice maybe sensation in the gut, in the abdomen. As you step now, that right foot, and then lengthen the right leg. And then place the left foot to the floor, knee bent. So again, sit bones pushing down. You could come all the way to the edge of that blanket or the prop that you're sitting on. And then that left knee out to the side. Sole of the foot just touching gently into the inner thigh. And we'll use the strap. So you don't have to use the strap, but it's necessary for that pull back. It could be that you've got a scarf or something else. I hope that's something you've been able to moderate for yourself. All right, so when you're ready, sit bones pushing down. Right femur or thigh bone hugging back into the socket without the sit bones moving. Inhale to lift the chest up here. Exhale to lean forward. And just a little bit. You might walk the hands down so you get that length again in the arms. Pull back. Inhale to lift the chest just a little. Then as you exhale, sit bones, pelvic floor, navel in, chest forward, shin in. And we can stay here if you are ready for the rest. Feel free to let the strap go. Or if you're wanting to build here, pulling the chest back, lengthening the arms so the strap won't allow you to pull all the way back. Keep drawing chin in. Let's work with Ujjayi breath. So that gentle restriction in the base of the throat. Sound of the breath, like a whisper. Pelvic floor keeps lifting, navel keeps drawing in, and we have that extra amount of intensity in this now for another 2 breaths. Next time you exhale, just relax that intensity you've created and allow the forward fold without the use of the strap. Just let it go. Keep the head, the chest up if you feel that you need to for a sore back. Otherwise, it's very gentle rounding in the forward fold. Your job. So when you're ready, finding the strap, if that's useful for you, to pull back and lift up, coming out of this shape now with integrity to support your back. And then scooping up that left knee, left foot to the floor. Just guide that right foot into the midline. Keep the leg straight as you step the left foot over. The open twist would be to your right side, or otherwise the left hand behind you. Inhale to raise the right hand up, then turning over toward that left side. And you can either hug the knee or thigh, or rest elbow to outer edge of the thigh. Stop sign in the hand, or with the mudra, index, finger and thumb to touch. Awareness of breath to the belly. Keep the left foot pushing down into the floor. Sit bones are still in place. This twist is from the upper abdomen and the back of the chest, middle back. When you're ready, turn the head forward, inhale. Exhale, turn the head back. Inhale, bring the head and the chest forward and just rest. Maybe clasp hands on that front shin. Tingling and warmth in the abdomen, in the chest, and the belly. And then uncross the legs, feet to the floor. Soles of the feet come together as the knees move out to the side. So this might be a good time to bring blocks under your knees if you had them, or cushions, so that you can support perhaps your hips. You could squeeze the soles of the feet together. But I think it'd be nice just to relax and just allow a moment to release into the hips and your pelvic floor. And if it feels okay, encouraging that freedom with the bouncing into the knees. You can close your eyes if you want to, though you don't have to, as you continue to bounce. Feel and be in the ball and socket joints on the left and the right, both together. Discontinue the movement when you're ready. And you can still feel the essence of movement remain, and the vibration of the cells and the movement of the energy that tingles with warmth. And this might be your time now to scoop the knees up and either come and rest in Shavasana, or if you'd like to work with Abhyanga, which is massage, I'm going to guide you with that. I invite you to come and lay down on your back, using any props that you need to so that you're comfortable. Resting your legs, either out in front or with the knees bent. Arms out to the sides. Palms facing up. The fingers curling in slightly. Feel free to make any changes now to your position so that you can just relax. I'm going to give you 5 minutes with complete relax after a pranayama breath practice. So the pranayama may be 3 minutes, but if you would like to skip it, please feel free and just go straight into an 8-minute Shavasana instead. So as you turn your awareness to your breath, notice the body is breathing all on its own. You don't need to do anything. You can relax and remain with the natural flow of the breath, or any time come back to this point of awareness. If you're ready and you would like to explore, begin to become aware of the breath in 2 streams of air coming in and out through the left and the right sides in the nostrils. The inside passages of the nostrils, and the little hairs that move in the breeze. In a moment, I will guide your awareness in alternate nostrils. You don't need to think about this, and you don't even need to change the breath. Tune into the feeling as you breathe out now, synchronizing with the breath out. Then feel the breath come in through the left side. Then feel it move out through the right side. Move at your pace. Feel in through the right side. Then out through the left side. 1 round complete. In through the left. Out through the right. in through the right. Feel out through the left. And continue as you breathe in through the left, come in through the to the center of the head. Then from here down through the right side. At your own pace, breathe in through the right nostril, into the center of the head. And out from here, down the left side. Continue. If that works out for you, keep going with that. In left, out right. Guide yourself. Moving awareness. Alternate nostrils. Make that the last round. When you breathe out through the left side again, it should be even. Feel and sense one single stream of air moving in and out as you rest your awareness in the center of the head. There is nothing to do. Keep your awareness in the center of the head, the pulsing of life force, though subtle, like a starlight in the space of the head.